Hi, Elizabeth here again. Accessible financial planning, living within your means, below your budget, one of those things. I want to review another financial planning projection software tool. It's a free offering. I really enjoyed reviewing the Bolden new retirement offering. And it was a very long day at work today. And so let's restart. Okay, Elizabeth here. I'm reviewing another financial planning projection tool, potentially a competitor to New Retirement / Bolden that I reviewed before, and I'll link in the description. So we're recording, and let's share screen. Okay, so I'm going to bring up ChatGPT here and compare Bolden software with Projection Lab. Is that what it's called? Okay. For retirement planning. Could be too new. I don't know. So interesting. Bolden is apparently, from this interpretation of ChatGPT, which could be inaccurate, it's primarily for financial professionals. And I'm guessing that's probably at the unlock level as I didn't get to, but I'd like to. Actually, in the description, I'm going to leave ways that you can support this channel. That's going to allow me, this kind of business unit, in order so that at a free level, meaning like and subscribe, or if I have free offerings, and refer a friend offers for different things that I like and use, that can supply me with some of the capital to pursue and review some of these items before you have to pay, and maybe have deals as well offered. In the meantime, let's get back to this. So, focuses on detailed, comprehensive financial modeling, including retirement planning. Okay, great. Ideal for creating professional level financial plans and reports for clients. So I'm excited to upgrade to what Bolden has to offer, but let's look at Projection Lab. So aimed more at individuals looking to manage their own financial planning, especially for retirement. Focuses on easy to use retirement projection models with a more visual, user-friendly interface. Good. Ideal for DIY planners who want to simulate different retirement scenarios, including savings rate, retirement age, market performance, and spending habits. So really the only thing that it comes down to is, seems to be financial professionals led, and this is more individual led. I don't know much about the background of Projection Lab. So let's learn more. Features: highly detailed tools, scenario testing, which both the two leading industry options offer as well, Money Guide Pro and eMoney. More financial expertise. That's probably true for most, but okay. Projection Lab, more simplified visual approach to scenario testing. Okay, allows users to easily simulate different financial paths. Focuses heavily on retirement savings and withdrawal strategies. Offers a range of flexible inputs like market conditions, inflation rates, and spending adjustments over time. Based on the Bolden or New Retirement Facebook group, I actually think this is offered through Bolden. I just don't know if that's the top feature by comparison. So again, let's take ChatGPT for what it's worth here. It may not be completely accurate. User-friendly interface makes it accessible for non-professionals, which I think is really important. I don't like how the financial industry gatekeeps success in the financial planning space. Okay. I don't know if you can see my image. I'm just talking to a blank screen here. All right, user interface. Okay, complex, steep learning curves, built for advisors. I don't know if that's true, but maybe. Projection Lab, clean, modern, intuitive interface. Okay, if there's a bias, it's for Projection Lab here. Customization and scenarios. So Bolden, highly customizable, more flexibility. Detailed cash flow analysis over time. Designed with retirement planning as a primary focus, with simpler inputs for retirement savings, asset allocation, and withdrawal strategies. Allows for easy experimentation with different retirement ages, saving goals, and spending behavior, but less advanced for complex tax or estate planning. Probably makes sense. Target audience: financial professionals and advisors who need advanced detailed tools. I don't know if that's true from the Facebook group, but okay. Projection Lab, targeting at individuals and DIY financial planners. Pricing, subscription, more expensive, more affordable. From what I saw, What did pricing get me here? Not too much. I mean, $1 a month, maybe. Hard to say. And pricing's pretty comparable, I would say. But okay, it is a little more expensive for Bolden. So it's pricing, reporting, professional grade, projection lab, visualization of scenarios with reports that are easier to interpret for non-professionals. Conclusion, ideal for financial professionals who require detailed, comprehensive modeling for clients. Projection lab is perfect for individuals who want to plan their retirement in a user-friendly visual format without needing advanced financial knowledge. I would be curious, but this honestly breaks down to exactly what Money Guide Pro and Bolden comparison through ChatGPT had. So maybe that's the continuum scale to take a look at, is thinking through the most complicated, which is either eMoney or Money Guide Pro or comparables, which you'd probably not have heard of. They're usually through advisors. Then you have Bolden, and then you have New Retirement. Okay, let's go back. So great. Your choice between the two depends on whether you're looking for a professional level tool. Okay. Interesting background. There's my mug. All right, back to Projection Lab. Great. So here's the pricing comparison. So deterministic projections, historical backtesting, Monte Carlo, Sankey cash flow visualizations, custom plots, flexible modeling. I haven't seen some of these terms since I 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, was going through the certified financial planning track coursework. So it's funny to me to see the comparison between Bolden as the more complicated, less user-friendly, because based on these pricing features, these are pretty sophisticated terms. I wouldn't know them off the top of my head if I wasn't a professional, to be frank. Okay. Same here. Self-hosting. Oh yeah. Okay. Extend the set of built-in plots to create the visualizations. Precisely define what life milestones like financial independence, FI, mean to you by creating specific criteria with support for conditional logic. And at this level in Bolden or New Retirement, they do, I believe, offer the certified financial planning route with working with an individual, an actual professional. So 120 a year, I think, is the midpoint offering through Bolden, and this is 108 plus tax. I don't know how tax is required. I really like this, though. If we're going to give Projection Lab really good feedback, the no sign up or credit card required is awesome. You can gift a subscription. Wow, definitely a game changer. I love that. Looks like you can cancel pretty easily. It's the first FAQ. You can switch billing. If you can't, I wonder, do they have, looks like they may have discount. Interesting. That's thoughtful. Discounts if you ask. Extended free trial. If they offer it in here, it's probably likely that they do have that. Student discounts, getting a refund. I don't trust. Hey, I think these are excellent features and benefits here. Interesting enough that the FAQ seems like the biggest selling point in terms of making me a customer. All right, so get started. Sign up with Google. I'm going to stop sharing while I do that. I used to also work in software security briefly. I do care about security, but I also, it's always at a trade-off of convenience. Okay. So I chose to link my Google account. Great. Normal walkthrough, sandbox mode. Ooh, I like it. This is great. This is very user-friendly. Tempted to do the normal walkthrough in this case. Sandbox mode may be for people who are concerned about sharing their data. You know, I'm going to do a video on this. This question is so good. How would you like to plan? I feel like the industry just escapes this vacant hole in professional and personal financial planning space. That is, I'm an individual and I'm unmarried, no kids, and here's my financial plan. It is so straightforward in those circumstances. If you're able-bodied human being, particularly if you're in midlife or younger, to create a financial plan and execute on it. I know it may seem insurmountable, and we're not talking that you can do all the things and buy all the things, but in terms of creating a financial plan when you're the only financial decision maker, provided there are no extreme debt issues or spending issues, it is so highly straightforward. If I was an individual working with a financial professional, I would be emphasizing the coaching aspect of my time with that professional, not necessarily the collaborative software, projections, numbers, blah, blah, blah. As a household, when you have two spenders at minimum, two spenders in the households and two sets of needs, two sets of backgrounds financially, becomes a whole new ballgame. It's hard. That being said, let's do a couple. I'm going to use some generic. Ooh, look at that. They're starting at birth year 1990. Maybe that's their target demo. I like that touch. It's something you can program in, that the birth year isn't today's date and you have to scroll for several decades for your age. So let's see, let's put in these. Okay, currency, English, I like it. I mean, a lot of these are really just taking what personal financial planners and advisors use and put like a TurboTax layer over it. Not that it focuses in tax, it's just the questionnaire. Okay. Yeah, I want to do all this. How much cash do you have saved? I don't. I don't have any cash saved. Just kidding. Oh. Okay, great. Investments. I used the same information before. So, guys, I'm going to keep this easy. Try to keep it an equivalency between the two softwares, but just put an amount here. Okay, can add a house, current value, purchase price. Oh, I already love this. Oftentimes, assets in financial planning tools don't ask the purchase price, and I'm left to have to customize in the description the purchase price. There's no place to actually enter it, and it's critical information to know if you want to tell a client what their future value of a sale might be, because you have to subtract out taxes, and taxes are determined by sale price, subtracting out the purchase price. What's not included here is home improvements and taxes, but I could be overlooking that. So what do we have here? I'm using this from a client example. Financed. Let's see. Yeah, that looks about whatever. Okay. Add debt. I would want to see mortgage. I guess I don't have to put it in. Interesting. It didn't give me a choice for mortgage here. So perhaps they're not intending for that. This is interesting. Okay, so This is a debt, theoretically a credit card, which I could use the credit card. And it is, I don't know if that changes, $10,000 balance. If I don't put another dollar on this credit card and I pay $2,000 a month, those are the years to pay off. So let's see what the difference is when I put a tenth for a minimum payment. It goes from 9 years to 1 year. I really like that component of this tool, and I feel like it's incredibly underutilized from this screen, but we're also too early in the process. But that's super, super great. I suppose you can do it here. So let's say I had another $200 lying around in my world per month, and I could apply it against $200 against the principal only. It's not making an additional mortgage payment. It's applying it against the principal. So it's from $5,500 at 25 years. I shave roughly a year off by paying $200 more per month. Again, that's a separate payment against your outstanding balance or your principal, which is this one. As a highly technical amount of terms there, so don't willy-nilly go doing this until you understand that making an additional payment beyond the minimum against principal only. Just want to make that clear. Okay, so we have that debt. Great. All right, let's take the tour. Dashboard. Okay. I can't see this because of this screen share thing. High-level view of your current finances and the plans. Okay, great. The data comes from the current finances. Okay. On this page, you can update the starting conditions. Okay, great. I don't yet see investment return estimates. Progress points is interesting. This is an interesting section. That does make this extremely user-friendly compared to most. Now let's go back to the dashboard. Okay. Nice little statement of net worth. And cross those out. Okay. To make it okay. What kind of plan do you want to create? Always make projections from the current date. Show your real progress overlaid on top as time goes by. Now, today, for lack of better options. Okay. Is this walking me through the same thing? Okay. All right. Interesting. Interesting. I don't see. Okay. So usually we put each spouse's age, projected age. This is also a different projected age where the end of plan is. In my planning software that I use at work, I would be 93 as an end of plan age. It's assuming that the end of plan age for B, in this case, spouse, had already passed because he is older than me. I'm just, again, pulling from several client examples. This is not my actual data. Okay. And they're assuming that financial independence is 25 times your total expenses, which theoretically is, and my net worth, which includes my home. This looks like an area that could use a little bit more description, but maybe it's here and I just haven't more options. I haven't looked at it. Let's see some tags, expenses minus debt payments, tax return payments. Interesting. Okay. And I don't want to sell my home. My home may be the cheapest place that I live. Again, quote unquote, my home. So I'm not going to change that because I don't know how it'll change things, but it's assuming a 4% withdrawal rate. This, interesting. Okay. Plug in a few numbers. What do they say? Okay. This is what I wanted to see in Bolden, is this description for average annual rate of return. I still think that it's not good enough to just offer what it is, but there you are. Okay, great. Bolden offers a 5% default investment growth rate. Obviously, you can change this. This defaults to 6. A dividend yield of 2.5%. I don't usually see those broken out. And inflation is a little bit higher. So the real return is still higher in this than others. And this is some sort of magical fairy dust fixed rates. No, they describe it. Historical. So you can go back. Interesting. This is an interesting part. I really would have said at this free level, and maybe that's what we do on ChatGPT at another point, but at this free level, this is a lot. This is a lot. I'm impressed. I don't think the average person coming to this without a financial background is going to be able to muddle their way through as easily. Okay. Save anything left over. Spend anything left over. Do you want to build an emergency fund? Okay, that's interesting. Sure. No, let's assume that that's fine. It's not. Should be much higher for the emergency fund. Well, let's see. What does it recommend? New account? Emergency fund? It'd be nice to see the standard rule of thumb explained. An emergency fund is typically 3 months of living expenses for a 2-income household, 6 months for a single income household. And I don't even think that that's necessarily adequate overall. It's not letting me save because I'm putting it under the wrong owner. What do I not have? Add? Okay. I got to save my plan notification. Bankrupt at 71. Concerned over this language. The thing about, okay, back. I have no idea where that left off, and I have no idea where this video is going to end up. That's exciting. So let's go back. So I was doing projection lab, and essentially, good. I see that this house is not sold. So we're trying to get to my initial plan. I like that I can rename it. Okay. All right. I'm okay with these assumptions. Apply international preset. That is very interesting. I would actually consider using this for my clients. We don't have an international preset. What is this? Wow. Fascinating. Do they have Switzerland? They do. Interesting. This is a good thing to know for my own practice. All right. Here we go. Bankrupt at 71. So that's where I left off. I don't know if it got to that part of the recording, but I put in all my data. I followed this. I had some problems here and there, but I think I otherwise got through it. I don't notice a place where I can put children in here or dependents, but that could be at a different, area. I think it is true. I think this is more technical as a software tool than Bolden at the free level. However, there are some interesting usability components that I have questions on. Like typically speaking, if things get financially tricky towards retirement at the end, people do adjust. They naturally do adjust. So I know that that's part of a reality, and I'm concerned at, why I don't see maybe suggested next steps. But again, free offering, right? For a free tool, this is fantastic. I'm very impressed. I love that you can compare and evaluate strategies in this format. Okay, the withdrawal strategy might be important if there was something like, okay, the withdrawal strategy select will override most of the normal events in your plan. Okay. I like how they're using Discord. I should probably check that out. That might be the equivalent in terms of community to consider. So it's probably for help, but it could be the equivalent to the New Retirement Facebook group, or Bolden Facebook group is the Projection Lab Discord. Okay. So I like it. Interesting. I gotta admit, I think this is pretty cool. I think it's definitely a usable tool. I think some of the language around this component is important. For instance, if there was a way it could suggest, have you tried adjusting your spend down or your working age longer? That is something Bolden has nailed down at the free level, is a couple of these kind of coaching tips. So I do think it's more user-friendly. I do think it's fascinating. I like some of its background definitions in place, but I'm a little nervous with some of its more definitive components of this, like bankrupt and other things like that. It's more just that it's a probability, it's statistics. There's nothing that guarantees that. Financial plan is not a prescription, it's just math. So, and it can be math of 1,000 trials, right? Versus just one, a linear analysis. It's math of 1,000 trials. But I would be, this is not, obviously that's my component. But I liked the whole format and situation. This is really great. I see love the progress tracking. I see the appeal, certainly. I like that you can compare plans. I love the user interface. Some coaching would be great, but maybe that's at the upgrade level. So, I like the backdating. That was true. I liked that. Historical back testing is available at all levels. Okay. So we didn't go into a lot of this. Certainly, I feel like we covered a lot of, these free levels. This is just my opinion. What I have to say, take it in context. So I think the one thing we were going to do, I'll probably leave it to you. Again, I had a long day of work and planning, and I really wanted to evaluate this software, but I'm left with a couple questions. I think it's fantastic for a free offering, and I'd be really interested to see what the upgrade for both Bolden looks like and for Projection Lab. My bias is still, I pay for all of the advisors and the integrations over $8,000 a year for MoneyGuide Pro, and it'd probably be maybe $1,500 a year for me alone as a solo practitioner. So it's not that expensive necessarily by comparison to some of their higher level offerings on these tools. But I think my bias is like what I know on MoneyGuide Pro and my blocks. But these are great tools, and I think you should use them. What we always say to our clients is that these cannot give you a prescription on what will happen. It is merely taking the math that would normally just be one linear analysis, meaning here's my growth rate, here's my inflation, here's my asset value, here are my annual additions. Done, here's your retirement age and my expenses. In these cases, they're doing Monte Carlo analysis, which they don't really describe here as the little dial. See if I can go back. But that's what that is. It's 1,000 different trials of your data to determine your success rate. So this is 0 success out of 100. So out of 1,000 trials on my data, 0 of them were successful to get me to my 85-year-old age. Some of the defaults I have some concerns with, so that's something to be considered. I wasn't sharing my screen there just a moment ago. Yeah, long day, wanted to cover this. So take a look if you haven't. Compare this review to my Bolden review. if you have time, go to ChatGPT yourself or Google and, ask the question, how does the free level of Projection Lab compare to the free level of Bolden or New Retirement, and get some feedback. I don't think any of these tools are really well played independently of more financial advice. But I mean, understand my bias. I'm in the industry. This is my bias. So I'm fully aware and open to this. I love that there are new tools coming out that are free to help individuals plan. Generally speaking, a straightforward retirement calculator could probably get you pretty close. Although again, that's linear analysis, one equation over time, compared to Monte Carlo analysis, Projection Lab and Bolden offer, which is 1,000 trials over time against your data. Certainly the complexities vary, but they're pretty close. There are some key differences. And yeah, if you have another tool that you want me to review, I'd love to know in the comments below. And there's that video linked below, my review of Bolden, and looking forward to more.